Hi, this is Todd Kelting. This is another video episode of Tuesdays with Todd. Today we are putting the pieces together to talk to you about the scheduling in Montgomery County and why the delays in Montgomery County that are built into the system require you to file your suits consistently and promptly. So here's how it works in Montgomery County, and this is the scariest example I can give clients in terms of how long it takes to get a case from the day you file a lawsuit until the day you end up with an eviction. So in January of 2019, the first Thursday of the month was the 3rd of January. In Maryland, as long as your lease requires the tenant to pay rent by the first day of the month, you can file suit as early as the second day of the month. Most clients don't sue tenants at that early in the month because it would cost them a fortune. You'd sue everybody because most of your tenants wait until the day before the late fee applies to pay you. But you could file suit as early as the 2nd. And if you sent us a suit list on January 2nd and we were able to get it to the court by noon on Thursday, January 3rd in Montgomery County, your cases would have been scheduled 4 weeks later, 4 Wednesdays later, on the 30th of January. That's the earliest possible court date for a tenant you sued for the January rent. When a judgment is entered on January 30th, the earliest we can file a writ is on the 5th business day, which in this case would be February 6th. When you request the writ, we print it in our office, we print a check, we sign the writ, we sign the check, and we mail both of those to the court. And in this fantasy scenario where those documents arrive at the court on February 6th, the court generally takes 2 to 3 weeks to process those documents and return them to us. So on the earliest side, we would get those documents back on February 20th. That's the earliest possible date for us to get those documents back from the court. When we get them, we scan them into our system, we send our clients a copy, and then our clients get a phone number for the sheriff, and the sheriff is contacted to schedule the eviction. The sheriff won't schedule the eviction with you unless and until the sheriff has received the same document you have, the writ, and put it into their computer system. And once you contact the sheriff and you have the writ and the sheriff has the writ and you're able to schedule the eviction, you can't get the eviction scheduled less than 30 days from the day you touch base with the sheriff on the phone. So the earliest possible eviction date for a January lawsuit filed on January 2nd is, let's say, March 20th, leaving aside the fact that February is a short month. That means that if you really want to get a tenant out in Montgomery County, it's going to take more than 2.5 months. And if you don't file a lawsuit in the month of March, on March, the first Tuesday in March after the 11th, and you wait until March 20th or thereafter because you think you're going to evict the tenant on the judgment you got on January 30th, for a suit you filed on January 2nd, remember that tenants with redeemable judgments can show up on the date that the sheriff is there to carry out the eviction, pay you the amount of the judgment. So in this case, the rent and late fees for January, and if you haven't filed a lawsuit for the intervening months of February and March, you're going to be not a few weeks behind, and it's not going to be a process that now takes 2.5 months. It's going to be a process that takes 3.5 or 4.5 months. And that's why it's very important in the state of Maryland to file suit every month that you can, because waiting until the tenant is going to be evicted can cost you serious time and money. That is this week's really long episode of Tuesdays with Todd.